Thank you, Jesus. Whatever you face this week, forward still. Whatever mountains come in your way, forward still. Yeah. Whatever, even if you buck out to war, forward still. Disappointment come, forward still. Woo. And if another pastor fall, forward still. After the pastor we are follow, we obey with pastor, but we are follow Jesus. Forward still. Young people, walk holy, make the right decisions, walk right, walk holy, Ramandosia, Rakandarabasiandarabosha, walk holy, forward still, it's Jehovah's will, though the billows dash and sway with a concrete strength, we will push. Let the church be the church, and he will roll. Yes, he will roll. No matter what you face, he will roll. Even if you fall, get up and he will. Oh yes, and he will roll the sea away. Hallelujah.
He like.
Yes, comrades! Youth and youth! Undecided voters! PNP coming again! So tell your neighbor, tell your friend! Green man I ride with like mule, and I take the nation for fall! But we have a new name for him! What the name? Him name Eli! Bangarang! Oh, we tired of the labor pay! The drive across the bus and the country going down the drain! Yes, we tired of the labor pain. Poverty of us we shut and we going insane. Why? Eli. At the union for the bus driver. Eli. That's how you hear from every corner. Eli. In name a ring throughout Jamaica. Eli. On a Monday, on a Tuesday, on a Wednesday, on a Thursday, on a Friday, on a Saturday. 2 times on a Sunday. Eli. Hear this. Eli tell we say him a go build up the country, put money in our pocket and end poverty. Promise the farmer them a go drive SUV. No him touch the bus, him a blame PNP, but Eli is a rookie driver. Him cannot run Jamaica. Him fi go sit down back in the harbour. Him to lion out of order. Oh, we tired of the labor pay. The drive across the bus and the country going down the drain. Yes, we tired of the labor pay. Poverty of us we shut and we going insane. Eli. At the union for the bus driver. Eli. That's how you hear from every corner. Eli. In name a ring throughout Jamaica. Eli make big promise to teach a nurse and police. Promise to give them big salary increase. Promise jobs, more jobs and good economy. But no him crash the bus, him a blame PNP. But Eli is a rookie driver. Him cannot run Jamaica. Him they go sit down back in the harbour. Him to lion out of order. Eli. Wanna remember this? hear say him done with the garrison and the green.
I'll never go back to that.
Him tell the country now him greener than green with no credibility. Eli, I didn't know him for the bus driver. Eli, that's how you hear from every corner. Eli, him name a ring throughout Jamaica. Eli, Eli is a rookie driver. Eli, him cannot run Jamaica. Eli, him they go sit down back in the harbor. Eli, him too lion out of order. On a Monday, on a Tuesday, on a Wednesday, on a Thursday, on a Friday, on a Saturday, 2 times on a Sunday, 1 o'clock.
For I want to go to heaven when I die. We go here when Jordan road. Get something and wave it. 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 Grab a rock 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 and wave it. Come now, wave your hand. Wave your hand. Wave your hand if you love the Lord. Wave your hand. Wave your, yes, wave your hand if you love the Lord. And me say roll, Jordan roll, roll. Praise him like you just don't care. Just praise the God because you know what he has done for you. Just give him praise. Rock and praise him. Dance and praise him. Wave your hand and praise him. For I want to go to heaven when I die. We go here when Jordan. My God, David was one of the greatest musicians. And I hear this musician playing. Give God glory, musician. Tell them, play a little David. Play a little David. Play me David. Play a little David. Yes, play me David. Play a little David. Yes, play me David. Play a little David. Me say roll, Jordan. Me say roll, Jordan roll. My God, Church of God this evening. God is good. Yes, God is good. God, for I want to go to heaven when I die. We go here when Jordan. Come now, me have to do that when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me have to do that when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me have to do that when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me have to do that when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me a go walk right in there. 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 A river Jordan a roll. 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 Roll river Jordan. Roll river Jordan. Roll river Jordan. Roll river Jordan. Roll bank to bank. Roll bank to bank. Roll bank to bank. Roll bank to bank. Let the deaf man hear. And the dumb man talk. And the blind eye see. And the crippled man walk. Roll back to bank. Roll back to bank. Roll back to bank. Roll back to bank. A river Jordan a roll. A river Jordan a roll. A river Jordan a roll. A river Jordan. I feel like praising. I feel it when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me I feel it when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me I feel it when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me I feel it when you roll. Me want rock and praise it, boy. Me I feel it when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Boy, river Jordan a roll. People make you roll, make you roll. Boy, a blessing make you roll. Yes, a blessing make you roll. Boy, are your blessing make you roll. Yes, are your blessing make you roll. For I want to go to heaven when I die. We go here when Jordan roll. Somebody shout and praise to God. Good night, 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 Jamaica. There's so much, there is so much Jamaica that I have to put on the table tonight. But it's my duty tonight, Jamaica, to let you understand the dynamics of what is happening in this country. A lot of people are calling, asking, teacher, can you tell us what is happening? And I am going to tell you all what is happening in Jamaica. It is my duty to tell you all that is happening. But in all that is happening around my country, people still are suffering, you know. Would you agree? Plenty people are suffer, you know. Would you agree? We may say plenty people and a little bit of people. And people are reaching out to me, say, teacher, may I say, do not Jamaica become caught up in all that is happening around the island. And I say that to say students, how was your day? Today I spent the latter part of my day in some serious hills, you know. When I say students, some serious hills. When me done to them, man, me say to myself, how am I going to do the program tonight? But I'm reminded that me telling you, say, no matter what, me I go talk to my students then. And as such, even though I'm very exhausted, I remember I have a duty, and that duty is to keep the nation alert. So I come tonight to, what did I say? Keep the nation alert. As we talk about keeping the nation alert, I don't know if you have heard about the situation with the farmer in St. Elizabeth. A farmer in St. Elizabeth. Hi, Miss Winnie, are you back? Bless you, Mama Winnie. A farmer in St. Elizabeth, Jamaica, is having serious woes. A farmer in St. Elizabeth is having no little bit of woes. He planted a lot of tomatoes. Look at what happened to the farmer. Producer, can you share the story? with what happened to the
St.
farmer.
Elizabeth farmer is desperately seeking a market for his tomatoes after hundreds of pounds of the produce are going to waste in the field. The farmer, Simon Witter from Cheapside District, says the market price now ranges from 10 to 15 Jamaican dollars and he's unable to pay workers to harvest the crop. As such, over the past few weeks, he has lost most of the tomatoes.
No tomato, nah sell. Like Delightful, Cheapside, Junction, Top Hill, Bullsav, Red Bank, you name it, where you could have know tomato plant. It flushy, it in the garden like that. It nah move. $10 and $15 a pound for tomato. That's very, very crazy.
He is urgently appealing for the government's assistance in finding a market.
Where is Andrew Honest? Where is Fly Green? We really don't want to see this. This is a farmer destruction. Destruction. This not right. Farmers suffer underneath this.
Play that again, producer. Make them hear what the man said at the end now, please.
St. Elizabeth farmer is desperately seeking a market for his tomatoes after hundreds of pounds of the produce are going to waste in the field. The farmer, Simon Witter from Cheapside District, says the market price now ranges from 10 to 15 Jamaican dollars and he's unable to pay workers to harvest the crop. As such, over the past few weeks, he has lost most of the tomatoes.
No tomato, nah sell. Like Delightful, Cheapside, Junction, Top Hill, Bullsav, Red Bank, you name it, where you could have know tomato plant. It flushy, it in the garden like that. It nah move. $10 and $15 a pound for tomato. That's very, very crazy.
He is urgently appealing for the government's assistance in finding a market.
Where is Andrew Honest? Where is Fly Green? We really don't want to see this. This is a farmer destruction. Destruction. This not right. Farmers suffer underneath this.
This not right. Farmer suffer underneath this. When I tell you that they have no plan for agriculture, Jamaica, when I tell you they have no plan for agriculture, a farmer like that should have had or should be getting support through RADA. RADA and the Ministry of Agriculture should have been able to say, okay, we're going to take these tomatoes from you and we're going to do some agro-processing. We're going to put them through the agro-distribution center. But no, agriculture in this country is too chaotic and the local farmers in this country don't benefit. Imagine so many schools in our country that are on the PATH program. And you're telling me that those tomatoes couldn't have been distributed through RAD and through the Ministry of Agriculture to send to some schools for them to do some tomato juices, to make some ketchup, to do some tomato paste? You're telling me the man has that bulk of tomato, and when he go to the supermarket, how much you seeing 5 tomato for? $300, $400 for 5 tomato, and the man said between $10 to $50 tomato is being sold. And
what can go so?
Hundreds of acreages of land in this country are producing, and the things go to waste. And the truth is, there is an influx of salads and all of those things that are imported coming onto the market, so the entire market is saturated. When I say there is no plan, When I say there is no plan in Jamaica by these people, I am putting to you the facts tonight. Last year, this time, between July to December, a pound of tomato ran you $800 per pound. Now there is a glut in the market and tomato is $10 to $50. But the truth is, if the government and if people who are in agriculture were setting up distribution, agro-processing centers, all of that tomato could have been stored in agro-processing houses. And through that, when there becomes a shortage, you can pull from the storage and put the tomatoes on shelves. But no, nothing is being done. Nothing is being done for the poor farmers in this country. You hear what the man say, where is Floyd Green? You hear what the man say, where is Andrew Holness?
The St. Elizabeth farmer is desperately seeking a market for his tomatoes after hundreds of pounds of the produce are going to waste in the field. The farmer, Simon Witter from Cheapside District, says the market price now ranges from 10 to 15 Jamaican dollars and he's unable to pay workers to harvest the crop. As such, over the past few weeks, he has lost most of the tomatoes.
No tomato, nah sell. Like Delightful, Cheapside, Junction, Top Hill, Bullsav, Red Bank, you name it, where you could have know tomato plant. It flushy, it in the garden like that. It nah move. $10 and $15 a pound for tomato. That's very, very crazy.
He is urgently appealing for the government's assistance in finding a market.
Where is Andrew Holness? Where is Fly Green? We really want to see this. This is a farmer destruction. Destruction. This not right. Farmers suffer underneath this.
What can go so?
And I don't hear Max about Frank Witter, and somebody said to me, teacher, I'm sure I'm living near to Frank Witter. Imagine the man lose acreages of tomatoes. Equally, in a few weeks, a lot of cabbages in this country will be going to waste. Because cabbage is coming in abundance again. And when cabbage is in abundance and it is in the glut, what happens? Cabbage soon starts selling for $40 a pound, you know. In the next 3 to 4 weeks, cabbage going to sell for $40, $50 a pound. And just as how this man is crying about what is happening, is the same thing going to happen to the cabbage farmers. Again.
Ball out! Whoa! Yo, yo, yo. We need help, Jesus. Jamaica need help. Shift the parliament. Shift the election. Shift everything. Remove them out there. Take out the cockroach. Take out the thief. Take out the criminal them. Take out the thief them. Take out the murderer them. Take out the gang leader them. Out of parliament. Take them out. From Portland. Take them out. I hear Portland. Me I go to Portland. Why me I travel to Portland? Take out somebody. Man or woman.
So when I see the cries of the farmers and there's no institutional or governmental assistance to help them, I feel the pain of the farmers tonight, Jamaica. I say it again, I feel the pain of the farmers in this country. I feel the pain of the egg farmers in this country as well. Eggs, again, will be going up. The price for eggs in Jamaica, like other places in even out here in the US, egg prices are going up. But whilst egg prices going up in Jamaica and in the US, the people of Bahamas found a solution, you know. How much for a tray of egg now? $1,300. A tray of egg is moving from $900 to $1,300. How much for a dozen egg? You do that math. A tray of egg now, Jamaica, is running you $13, some even places $1,500. Even one somebody said to me, them buy a tray for egg for almost $1,800. And what is the response of the government? I don't see no layers being given to the people. I don't see no kind of support being given to the farmers. Listen to what the people of Bahamas did with their egg crisis. Listen to this. Mighty God.
So the price recently was $9.99 or so. Yeah. So, you know, it's going to be $3.79 now. We have managed to collaborate with the government of the Bahamas, in particular the Ministry of Agriculture and the Minister, Mr. Jomo Campbell. And we have sourced eggs outside of the U.S. And as a result of this, we're going to be able to offer the public a significant reduction in the price of eggs.
And today we're glad to say that the super value chain of stores, they will reach out to the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources, reference to sourcing some eggs from some other areas who we've been trading with for a number of years. And we would have placed them in the hands of BASFA, who was in charge of all of those safety concerns, meeting all the requisite protocols and everything else. And today we are pleased to say that through that initiative, we now brought down the price of eggs to $3.79. And once you add VAT, it's now at $4.17.
That is what Bahamas did. Them never get it from the US. They found other suppliers of eggs. So I wouldn't be surprised Bahamas found the egg through Mexico, because I hear that Mexico has an abundance of eggs. But I'm coming back to local Jamaica. Again, I am coming back to local Jamaica. The cry of local Jamaica is that you have a lot of Jamaicans who are poultry farmers, egg farmers. And them say, when I talk to them, them say, boy, Andre, all we need the government to do, you know, I give you 150 egg or 150 layer bird or 100 layer, you know, and support us through the technical know-how to get the birds. Because ever since burial, or even before burial, there was a significant shortages of eggs around the island. There was a significant shortage of egg around the island. And there is a shortage of layer birds in Jamaica. You know, hear what I said? There is a shortage of layer birds in Jamaica. And what has been the response of the government? The government could have, through different partnerships that they have, through many agreements with other foreign territories, the government could have liaison with somebody in South America. For instance, they could have spoken or had an agreement with Colombia to get more layer birds in Jamaica, you know. We don't necessarily need the eggs. They could have spoken to Colombia through an agreement and get at least 5,000 or 10,000 layer birds to come on the island and distribute those layer birds across Jamaica. No. But Jamaica, it's all by design that many of the things that you're seeing happening now, the shortage, the demand and the supply, is all a part of this government orchestrated scheme for their friends and their cronies to benefit. Because I am sure, just as how you're going here, say there is a shortage of egg. You remember, just as how them say, The ice, you remember the ice story? And what them said, them did have to go import. You're going to hear now that they have to go import. You're going to hear it, you know. They have to go import to meet.
Ball out! Whoa! Yo, yo, yo. We need help, Jesus. Jamaica need help. Shift the parliament. Shift the election. Shift everything. Remove them out there. Take out the cockroach. Take out the thief. Take out the criminal them. Take out the thief them. Take out the murderer them. Take out the gang leader them. Out of parliament. Take them out. From Portland. Take them out. I hear Portland. Me I go to Portland. Why me I travel to Portland? Take out somebody. Man or woman.
So when you see all of this is happening, you are going to hear in a few more weeks. You are going to hear in a few more weeks, Jamaica. And all I am saying, why not carrying the layer? Why not carrying 130 or 140,000 layer birds and supply the local farmers so they can boost the industry again? Ever since Jamaica, I'm saying it again, ever since we had the barrel, or even before barrel, there has been a shortage. And a country that cannot feed its people is a country that is in serious crisis. A country that has to depend on import substitution to feed its people is a country that is in crisis. And the crisis in the United States is a crisis because of tariffs. A crisis in the United States is a crisis because of Trump's administration decided to start economic tariffs with their partners, which were Mexico and Canada. Before the tariff war, egg was in good supply in the United States. But the truth is the truth, Jamaica. And we are now in a crisis because a lot of children in this country, the nutritional benefits that they should be getting, it's not there. You remember the report from the United Nations? A lot of our children are malnourished and they're already ill because the brain should be stimulated and be growing in a particular way by getting all of those nutrients from the eggs and all of those things. What the children have to be eating at morning time rather than the egg.
The warning signs are clear, the numbers are alarming, and the calls for action are growing louder.
There are students who have started high school and are graduating high school, and this policy is still a concept. So how much longer are our children going to suffer?
That's the urgent question being asked by nutritionists, health professionals, and educators as the government drags its feet on implementing a national school nutrition policy. At Thursday's sensitization session for nutrition professionals on strengthening school nutrition, frustration took center stage. Experts sounded the alarm over the government's years-long delay in approving a policy that could save lives and protect the next generation. Despite consultations concluding several years ago, the policy remains trapped in bureaucratic limbo, awaiting cabinet approval. Dr. Timar Stevenson is Senior Policy Officer in the Education Ministry.
Since then, we would have done a number of consultations. We have made amendment to the document. We would have also submitted a new cabinet submission for white paper that was sent to Cabinet Office for their review. Cabinet Office have responded and have identified 2 areas that we need to address. And so we have gotten the comments from one of the ministry, and we are now waiting on the final one. After it, we will make the amendment and resubmit it to cabinet.
Meanwhile, childhood obesity is spiraling out of control. The 2017 Global School-Based Student Health Survey revealed an astonishing 68.3% increase in obesity rates among children aged 13 to 15 between 2010 and 2017. The crisis is even more severe for boys, whose obesity rates have nearly doubled, soaring by 94%, while rates among girls surged 47%. Dr. Simone Spence, Health Promotion and Protection Officer in the Ministry of Health, says the data is nothing.
You heard that, Jamaica. And already, you heard what is happening with our children. 94% of our boys obese. 94%. And coupled with that, Jamaica, rather than the children eating nutritional meals, not even a proper breakfast, they might eat cup soup. And this them a feed pan, Jamaica. See here, this them a feed pan. Morning then yam cup soup, evening then yam cup soup, night them and yam cup soup. And this full of salt and MSG, you know. And if they not drink the cup soup, appear sugar, 3 chicks and bag juice. Jamaica, I am concerned about the direction my country. I am concerned the direction this country and our children are going. And if it continues like this, another 20 years, possibly even another 13, 15 years from now, can you imagine the amount of different cancers that will be in this country? And already our healthcare system is already crippled. Already our healthcare system in this country is already cancerous. Already the healthcare system in this country is in serious pandemic. And can you imagine on that, Jamaica? There was a report, you know, that's from an oncologist that says the kind of cancers that are being presented to in the age group of 20 and the 30 years old. It is alarming. It is alarming, Jamaica. And then you have childhood diabetes. You have so many myriads of issues that are affecting our children, the future of this country. And an unhealthy nation. And an unhealthy nation cannot be productive. An unhealthy nation cannot be efficient. An unhealthy nation, Jamaica, cannot be proficient. And I'm very concerned that there are foods out there that the population could get. It's a sad thing that happens with our mangoes. We have the best mangoes in the world, the best yams. We have the best ginger, and there is not enough that is put forward in developing the agricultural prowess in this country. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart disease, cancer, diabetes. These are the things that are taking over our young people in this country, and it is a call for concern. The people then cannot feed pan something here. Morning, noon, and night. Tigers, bag juice. It cannot continue like this, Jamaica. And it's out of concern that I speak for the interest and the people and the children of this country. My God, Jamaica. It's too much now. It is too much. People of Jamaica, it cannot continue like this.
Ball out! Whoa, yo. We need help, Jesus. Jamaica need help. Shift the parliament. Shift the election. Shift everything. Remove them out there. Take out the cockroach. Take out the thief. Take out the criminal them. Take out the thief them. Take out the murderer them. Take out the gang leader them. out of Parliament. Take them out from Portland. Take them out. I hear Portland. Me I go to Portland. Why me I travel to Portland? Take out somebody, man or woman.
And Jamaica, the cries of the people are so much. And the things that they're importing into this country, majority of them are not, is waste goods, dump goods. Is waste good, dump goods, Jamaica. Things that them don't want in a feed them country, them take. Have you ever gone in the market sometimes and look at the amount of expired goods that are selling in some aspects of the market? And people are actually purchasing them. Some juice, some this, some that, some that. I mean, I say, all the people that just are purchased because the truth is Jamaica. And then here is Floyd Green. Here is Floyd Green saying he's encouraging the population to him introducing on large scale users of liquid eggs. Liquid egg Jamaica. Just as how him talk about the import ice, now them are telling about liquid eggs. Jamaica.
What can go so?
Liquid egg Jamaica. Who know about food? Liquid egg are pure. This is what Floyd Green I tell the people them. Liquid egg they must turn to. Liquid egg. Is what Floyd Green is telling you all to turn to liquid, especially large. So he must say, see all the baking people, and you imagine the kind of chaos and the kind of high prices that people are going to start paying. Remember, say in a few weeks from now, is Easter time. And don't you need egg to bake? You don't need egg to bake, even the bun. So that means, say, he must say to National and all of them people there, buy liquid egg and put in the Easter bun them. What a wicked people. That is what
We need your divine intervention. We're tired of the labor rights. We're tired of the green people. We are so far. We can't take it no more. We need this. We need it. Help. Help. Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Psalm 46. God is our refuge and strength. Is a liberator. Jamaica.
Again, Jamaica. This is what they want for you and I. So me I wonder, Floyd Green, your wife and your son and them liquid egg? Your wife, your dainty doctor wife, and your son, your brilliant son, them want liquid egg for them, Floyd Green. Why you want introduce liquid egg to the public? Jamaica, when I tell you, you must reject these people. When I tell you to reject these people, rather than find solutions for the local farmers and empower them in this country. Mighty God. Liquid egg. Liquid egg. Very sad day for my country. I know how the Chinese, them hearing that, Don't be surprised when you start to see the Chinese shop them have liquid egg on the market. Don't be surprised when you go to the Chinese man and they wholesale them telling say liquid egg available. Lord God.
What can go so?
Don't be surprised. But Jamaica, as I talk about that, and I talk about this, Portmore turn up last night, Me say Portmore turn up last night. Listen to what Anthony Hilton them say. Anthony Hilton is saying Jamaica. Before I go to Portmore, are you aware that NCB staff are restive? Be nothing to just hear. Michael Leachin staff them. Michael Leachin staff restive. Michael Leachin them now want to pay the worker them properly, you know. Hey. When you hear what I say to you, I could go in a corporate Jamaica business liquor. Are you aware, Jamaica, that Michael Leachin don't want to pay the workers them properly? When you hear about it, the staff at NCB, as we speak Jamaica, they are restive. Now you understand why so much fraud happening at NCB. You remember the girl where they take out the $70 million out of the people in my account? Now no understand why Wagwan at NCB Wagwan. Yes. And them alone restive, you know. Only in the ear say all the referee them will play with the football association and in the country. On the ear say the referee them now do no match for the football association in Jamaica. On the ear.
All right. Partner draw. Partner draw. Andre. Set the rat trap. Set the rat trap. Set the rat trap. In the two for the rat them. Set the rat trap.
Listen to this, Jamaica. The referees across Jamaica have taken a strong stance by remaining off the field, adamant that their strike action will not end until they are paid in full for their overdue compensation. As a result, the Royal Navy Premier League has been temporarily halted, with Sunday schedules matches in the third round of the competition being postponed. Mighty God. The strike comes after reports that referees have not been compensated since 2024, with a total amount owed estimated to be approximately $8 million. Sources indicate that the last salaries paid to the officials were as far back as March 9. The delay in payments has led to growing frustration amongst the officials, who have made it clear that they will not return to the field until the full amount owed to them is settled. Emergency negotiation with the Jamaica Football Referees Association, which represents the referees, the Jamaica Football Federation, and the Jamaica Premier League Limited, have been ongoing since last Friday. However, as of now, an agreement has yet to be reached. The president expressed hope that the resolution could be reached as soon as possible, emphasizing that it is crucial for the game and all the parties involved. What a disgrace. What a disgrace. Jamaica Football Association, the Premier League. This more than for call for ball out.
What can go so?
Ball out! Whoa, yo. We need help, Jesus. Jamaica need help. Shift the parliament. Shift the election. Shift everything. Remove them out there. Take out the cockroach. Take out the thief. Take out the criminal them. Take out the thief them. Take out the murderer them. Take out the gang leader them. Out of parliament. Take them out. From Portland. Take them out. I hear Portland. Me I go to Portland. Why me I travel to Portland? Take out somebody, man or woman.
This is a disgrace, Jamaica, that not even the referees in this country are being paid. It is a disgrace when a bank that is making billions of dollars, almost trillion. I've never seen a financial report showing that Bank of Jamaica is losing money, you know. I've never seen a financial report, let me correct myself, of NCB losing money. And you're going to tell me that the staff asking for an increase and they can't grant them the increase. The staff are asked for them remuneration package. That is why, Leachin, you have always had so many skullduggeries and levels of fraud attached to NCB because your first agent, your first point of contact from the bank, which are your agents, your customer care agents, they are not getting a decent partner job. I don't think a teller getting more than 130,000 or 150,000 a month, you know. I'm going to repeat that. I don't think an average teller at NCB getting more than $150,000 a month. That is 1,000 US. I'm going to say it again. I don't think an average worker at NCB, that means a teller, not true. Give me the facts and I stand corrected. Give me the facts. Give me the stats and I stand corrected. I am telling you, Jamaica. Go and do your research and ask the tellers what is their basic salary. Ask the tellers at NCB. Ask them, what is the basic salary for a teller at NCB? And you're going to say to yourself, go and do and ask them, Jamaica. I will stand corrected if it is more or less, but I can tell you, Jamaica, I don't think it passed 150,000. You hear what I said? Any NCB teller here can confirm. But I am telling you, Jamaica, that is what it is. I am telling you, Jamaica, that is what it is. It's very unfortunate, but that is what it is. It don't pass 150,000. See, somebody say $108,000 to $117,000. I'm not telling you a lie. So when you hear the tellers are saying that they want a beautiful or a better compensation package, most tellers even in the banking sector in Jamaica not getting more than $200,000. Me are telling you, Jamaica, it's really bad. It's really bad how these people are being treated. And as such, that is why the workers at NCB have grown a level of restivity. Them restive Jamaica, them restive bad. Jamaica students, just like up the live now, students. Like up the live. Like up the live. And remember to bless the super chat. Bless the super chat, students. Want to know if I come over the PDTV and bless the super chat. Like up the live. Like up the live. I'm going to take a break now, Jamaica. When I come back, I'm going into the hardcore issues affecting the politics on the land. Let us take a break now.
Say goodbye to pain. If you suffer from arthritis, sciatica, fibromyalgia, muscular, back, hip, knee, headache, and sinusitis, then Dr. Brown Arthritis Joint and Remedy Oil Pain is the answer. Listen to another satisfied customer.
Hi, I wanted to let you know that I've used this arthritis joint and remedy oil, and I tested it out with her tester a couple of times because I have a knee that's been driving me crazy. It hurts so much. And I put this on and walked around for a little bit, and I thought, okay, I'm really liking this stuff, and would absolutely recommend that you try it.
Enjoy life without the pain. It's just a rub away. Visit our website or contact us at 917-557-6204 and get this amazing remedy oil.
One love season to the bone. Your one-stop seasoning. Authentic Jamaican seasoning. Low sodium. No MSG. All natural herbs and spices. Straight out a yard. All-purpose. Chicken, fish, jerk. Available at Broad Meat Food Stores, North Lauderdale, Lauderdale Lakes, Margate and Pembroke Pines. Key Food Stores, Miami and Fort Lauderdale. Bravo Supermarket, Miami, Fort Lauderdale and Palm Bay. FA&M and Price Choice, Miami. Thrifty Food Store, Palm Bay. Food Basket and DNL Supermarket, Palm Beach. Festival Market, and available at all leading supermarkets and the Centerville Food Store, Nassau, Bahamas. Phone 561-946-9941. Email gfedllc@gmail.com. One love season to the bone. Your one-stop seasoning.
Yes, Jamaica, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to PDTV News Jamaica. I know that a lot of people out there are caught up with what is happening in the polls. And tonight, Jamaica, I'm going to spend a few moments to look at what is happening with the polls, because it is important to understand and to dissect what is being interpreted or what is being said in the polls. Can you play the media report about the polls, and then when I come back, we'll start the discussion at hand. Just a moment, Jamaica. We're coming, just one moment. Just a moment. So we all know that the polls are out there and they're suggesting that. Just a second. So the Dun Anderson polls came out, and when it came out, it is Jamaica, people are like, whoa, teacher, what is happening? And I'm saying, Jamaica, that we want us to really look at the polls. I want us to look at the polls to see Wagwan, when Agwan, why is this happening? Why are these trends coming about? And we can take it from there. People are saying, teacher, 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 teacher. And me I say to students, say, me I go address the whole polls tonight. Because when we come over this platform, what we do is what? We teach. What we do is we teach. We teach, we analyze, we interpret, and we take it from there. Which party would you vote for if an elections were called today? In September, the People's National Party had 39.3%. The Jamaica Labour Party had 30.2%. And the undecided stood at 30.5%. Now, Jamaica, keep the poll on there for me, please. Keep it right there for me. In January to February, the poll was done again by Don Anderson. It asked, which party would you vote for if an election were called today? 33.9% undecided. 30.7% JLP. And 35.4% said PNP. Let us read the poll. If you are reading the poll as I am reading the poll, Jamaica, the JLP gained no momentum. They only got a 0.5%. 0.5. No. They didn't. Yeah. They only got a 0.5 percentage, not even a 1 point percentage, you know. A 0.5 percentage increase. So I mean, say them not get nothing at all, Jamaica. It flat out. The PNP, on the other hand, lost almost 4% point. Are you reading the poll that I'm reading, Jamaica? So the JLP is stagnant. The PNP lost 4%. Did the 4% go to the JLP? Did the full 4% go to the JLP? No. It didn't go to the JLP. The almost 4% went to the undecided. The almost 4 percentage point did not go to the JLP. It went to undecided. So the PNP, based on what happened here, the PNP potential voter went undecided. I'm going to say it again. The PNP potential voter did not go to the JLP. Read it with me, students. Let me bring in Professor Christopher Charles to come in and interpret the poll with us tonight. Let us bring in Jamaica Professor Christopher Charles. Good night, Professor Charles.
Good evening. Good evening. How are you?
I am well. I am well.
I hear you talking about the party standings on Saturday, but there are other polls before we get to that. That's like the feature. There are other polls that I'd like to talk about right up to that one. Right? That is, I consider to be very important. Right? And if you would allow me to do so.
Sure, go ahead, Professor. So can you introduce yourself to the public, please?
I am Christopher Charles, a university teacher. And before I started teaching at UWI, I taught at the City University of New York and John Jay College of Criminal Justice in particular. And I taught at the King Graduate School, Monroe College in New York. And recently I took some time off from UWI and I went to teach at the University of Missouri in Columbia, United States. I am trained in psychology and political science. And my doctoral training is in psychology, hence the psychology of political behavior or political psychology.
Okay. I remembered you from the university, Prof. Charles, but...
You remember me? Okay. Well, you survived me then. That's good.
Yes, I did. I did. Very hard. Let us not get into that history, but it was tonight, Jamaica.
Yeah.
Professor Christopher Charles, tonight we're talking about the polls, and you said you wanted to do the history of the polls before you come to this current poll.
Yeah.
Let us talk about that tonight.
All right. So what has been happening? The polls for many years have been widely misinterpreted, right? Primarily by some journalists.
The polls widely misinterpreted by some journalists.
So let's say widely now. I mean, what they are saying is just off. And the polls...
You're saying that majority of the journalists in Jamaica are not interpreting the polls correctly?
I haven't done any survey of them, but the fact that the misinterpretation is so widespread and hard to challenge suggests that a lot of them are saying the wrong things. And I'll give you an example. So let's take corruption, right?
Yes.
So look at and it's one poll, with different findings on different issues. So it's not several polls. So I'm talking about the Don Anderson poll now in relation to the corruption findings and how it was misinterpreted.
Okay, let's just go into that.
So all the answers must sum up to, the percentages must sum up to 100%. And 57% of the respondents stated that they have no opinion about the Integrity Commission, right?
Yes, they had no opinion on the Integrity Commission.
All right, so let us start there. Saying that they have no opinion, right, about the Integrity doesn't automatically mean they really have none. And it doesn't mean that they are disinterested. It doesn't mean that they are indifferent. Right? All you can say is that they didn't give an opinion. You'd have to ask them, so why are you not giving an opinion? That wasn't stated. That wasn't stated. So I don't know how people can then say the people are disinterested. All right.
So then you think the question should have been, how effective is the Integrity Commission? Do you think that would have been a better question to the public?
You could have asked that, but I tend not to tell pollsters which questions to ask. But
if you were doing the poll, Prof, as a political psychologist, how would you have skewed the question? Give us a sample question to ask about the Integrity Commission.
Well, the first thing I'd want to know if they have been following the developments
by the Integrity Commission,
because there's a part of the poll that was carried in one of the newspapers where people were saying X amount says their views haven't changed, right? This amount said their views haven't. We don't know what their baseline views were.
True.
And change from what?
Where?
Precisely. So when I was listening, everything sounded strange. But I just want to explain it the way I am explaining it, because it is very simple. So 57% didn't give an opinion. You take the 57% from the 100.
Yes.
Leaves how much?
43.
All right. 23% of that amount hold positive views about the Integrity Commission. And only a minority of 20%, right, hold negative views about the Integrity Commission. So how did we arrive in the country that people don't care about corruption, they don't care about the Integrity Commission? How? The numbers can't tell you that. What has been happening is that those who are interpreting the polls have imposed their own views, their own biases on the numbers, but numbers don't lie. Right? So the narrative about corruption, for me, corruption is very important. It has always been. Right? And it only serves corrupt people. When you say it's not important, all you're doing is serving the interests of those who are corrupt.
True. So
because they are going to feel comfortable because and they have said it. I know people, journalists who approached the political parties in 2020 to do work. And the party said, corruption is not important, right? So, but it is. If you look at because what we do, we look at one set of numbers. And I'm saying, unfortunately, the interpretation this time around by Dan Anderson with regards to the findings of corruption.
So do you believe that the way in which the questions were structured potentially gave...
No, I mean, you can ask good questions, a range of ways. So I'm not into whether the question was good or bad, right? What my role is to show that the numbers that were presented, the interpretation is in the east and the numbers are in the west. So the interpretation that St. Thomas and the numbers that Mobile.
Oh. So then if you're going by that argument, Prof. Charles.
No, there's no other argument, there's no other way the numbers can be interpreted.
So if you're going by the argument that the journalist misinterpreted the poll, are
corruption findings?
The corruption findings. Are you equally suggesting that Don Anderson himself misunderstood what the poll was saying about corruption?
Well, I disagreed with his interpretation. And I stand anywhere. I mean, I'm going to 2 international conferences on political forecasting and public opinion later this year. And 2 years ago, they asked me to speak on the challenges of political forecasting in the developing world. And I gave Jamaica as an example. So anybody who wants to challenge, just come. And we put our findings to the international scientific community. But as far as I know, what I've been here are strange interpretations.
But as a political psychologist, and where you stand and have been observing elections, potentially for about 40, 50 years in this country, do you believe that Jamaicans vote on the issue of corruption?
Yes. And all right. So
And if they vote on the issue of corruption, what is that percentage that makes the issue of corruption?
I haven't done any survey, and that will require going into the field again. But what I do know, the political apathy, and so Jamaica's voter turnout is low, so it has impacted voting in that one of the reasons why so many people are not voting. However, even among party supporters,
yes,
because we suspect that the 20% who held negative views about the Integrity Commission were mostly JLP supporters. The JLP support is way more than that. So we know that there are JLP supporters who don't like what is happening in terms of corruption. This we know. We don't have to guess and spell it. Right? So I can't tell you that it's 80%, 90%, but for you to look at the numbers as we currently have and say it's not important just doesn't add up, just doesn't make sense.
Based on the sentiments, because I'm sure you equally potentially would have done some level of analysis of the voter intentions for Jamaica presently outside of the Don Anderson. Have you looked at the Blue Dot polls to do a comparative analysis to say whether or not the issue of corruption would have been a priority issue voting in this election?
I'm pausing because when I'm at work and we discuss political issues, none of my colleagues discuss Blue Dot.
Wow, why?
They don't take Blue Dot seriously. And on another forum...
Wait, Prof. You're saying that amongst the intellectuals in Jamaica, they don't consider a Blue Dot poll to be of strong standings?
I'll say what I just said. They don't take the Blue Dot poll seriously. So I asked a question this past weekend and a week before of Blue Dot, and they listen. And when I ask the question, I invite them to correct me because I want to know: have they ever done a poll in Jamaica on the party standings where the Jamaica Labour Party is behind outside of the margin of error? I'm waiting on them to tell me if they have ever done a poll where the JLP is trailing outside the margin of error. When you're in the margin of error, it's a statistical tie, it's a deadly. The two parties are locked. The race is very close.
Yes.
And outside the margin of error, that is something, right? So for the years they're doing it, I just want them to tell me if they've ever done a poll where the JLP, right, has been behind outside of the margin of error.
So why you ask that question though, Prof. Charles?
I'm going from memory, and my friends will quarrel now. I'm an old man, and so I need verification of something that I recall. I don't recall a poll that they have done stating the opposite, but because I'm going from memory, I just asked them if that has happened. And they might answer, they might not.
So do you believe a Blue Dot poll has biases?
All polls have imperfections, but it's the extent to which you use a scientific method to reduce the biases and the imperfections.
Wow, this is interesting.
So there's no perfect polling. I'm just saying it's the extent to which you are adept at the scientific method and how well you use it.
At your level, Prof, have you ever witnessed pollsters skew poll for a particular agenda?
Not that I know of, but I know of one case of an internal, well, I know of one case where somebody was working for a commercial pollster. And that person was like the field manager.
Yes.
And the person was accused of skewing the polls, reporting the numbers to support the political party that they support. And so the poll was wrong. And it was a national poll. But it wasn't the pollster. It was a worker in a crucial and critical position who was able to, at that level, could influence. But the pollster, posters, as far as I know, since the days of Carlstone, tend to be people of integrity. So that's a commercial poll. Because the pollster talked to me and said, I know, Chris, I know that so-and-so changed numbers. Then the same person,
yes,
one of the parties, his party, employed him to, well, let me put it this way now.
Yeah, bust it up now, Prof. Talk the things then.
All right. So this was not a party poll per se, but political party. I have it. Just be patient with me, so that you're not sued and I'm not sued.
Okay.
All right. So the political parties in Jamaica, sometimes they have no faith in local talent, and sometimes, for whatever reason, they don't trust local talent. See? So everybody who knows me, the only thing I have, I'm not rich. The only thing I have is my integrity, right? And sometimes when I talk, I get into trouble. Not legal trouble, but class trouble because people are upset because I speak the truth. So sometimes the political parties in Jamaica use non-Jamaican posters. So I have my ears on the ground. My own upbringing and survival skills requires it.
Yes.
Right? So one of the political parties employed a pollster, a non-Jamaican pollster who lived outside of Jamaica. That foreign pollster, because he's not familiar with Jamaica, subcontracted the poll.
Yes.
But the person we subcontracted it to was one of the chief strategists of the rival party who contracted the pollster. Right? So I have my ears on the ground. So I have people work with me for research and polls and so on. And say, Prof, da 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 da.
I wonder if this, I think I know. Go ahead, Prof.
I'm just giving the scenario. All right. So there was a by-election, and the person who got the poll, right, was a chief strategist of the rival of the party who paid for the poll. So if you gave it to a foreigner who doesn't know about Jamaica, that person contracts somebody who is actually the enemy of their client. So in one of the by-elections, when the poll was done, the party who contracted the poll as leading. But the party wasn't leading.
It was the other way around.
Yeah, but they wanted to trick the party who commissioned the poll that they were leading. Right? So the party didn't know, right?
Wow.
So this is not widespread, I must say. This is not widespread. We know at least one foreigner has come to Jamaica, was not done in the poll, but has produced numbers. We know.
I know the foreigner. I know the story, no, Prof.
So I'm just giving cases here. But generally, the commercial pollsters are professional people, right? And some internal polls. A lot of times, internal party polls are done by professionals, right? And if they are done by professionals, you can trust them. But you really don't know because the professional who does the internal poll gives it to the client, the party who commissioned the poll.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know if the numbers they are telling you is correct.
Yes.
Because I hear some numbers in the last few days and we are trying to find the poll and we can't find it.
Mm.
So we just have to be careful. But I would like to move now to the second poll findings that was widely misinterpreted.
Which one is that?
Jobs and the poor.
Mm-hmm.
So when asked which party is better at providing jobs, 35% said JLP and 32% said PNP.
Mm-hmm.
So with a margin of error of plus or minus 3%,
that's a
negative. Major parties are tied on providing jobs.
Mm-hmm.
They are tied. It's a statistical delete. However, if you notice,
yes, when it comes out to the
newspaper said JLP good for jobs, PNP better for the poor. Only one half of that statement is correct.
Wow.
Only one half of that statement is correct. Meaning that because the two parties are tied on jobs, 32 versus 35, right? And the difference of people falls within the margin of error.
Mm-hmm.
What it means they are tied. They are equally good. Right?
Yes.
Providing job. When you look at the poor, it said the numbers were
PNP, there was a stark difference between the PNP and the
20% said the PNP was better at taking on the poor, and 13% said JLP. So you take 13 from 20, it
that
leaves
is
7%. And when you take away the margin of error,
4%.
Yeah, I normally use a minus when the race is close.
Yes.
So it leaves 4%. So the PNP is 4 percentage points clear
when it comes to
the margin of error.
Poor.
Right?
Okay.
In terms of taking care of the poor. Right? So what the headline should have read is that JP and PNP
tied.
Good at good at providing jobs, but the PNP is better for the poor. Because so you could put a headline like JLP and PNP good, both JLP and PNP good for jobs, but PNP better for the poor. Because the numbers that's what the numbers are saying.
Oh, so you're saying the media article.
The news story.
Yes, the news story
Mm-hmm.
shifted the truth from the representation
misinterpreted
the findings.
Yeah. So all right, let's look at why we have misinterpretation. All right. Sometimes Jamaica is a small place. You do have partisan people, but you do have professional journalists.
Yes.
And most of the times, from my understanding, it's really they're not taught statistical thinking and reasoning. Right? So you have to understand statistical thinking and reasoning, and you have to be a critical thinker.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's, if you look at the CXC and English, CSEC mathematics and CSEC English, how the passes have been declining over many years. I'm not surprised because those subjects are the foundation for all other subjects.
True.
Right? So it is in a lot of cases genuine misunderstanding, and in some cases partisan posturing and interpretation, or strategic partisan misinterpretation.
Wow.
All right, so that poll is actually saying that the JLP and the PNP are good for jobs, but the PNP is better for the poor. That's what the numbers are saying.
Okay.
You want me to move to something else so we can get to your...
Yes, ma'am. You can move to, so we talk about the jobs and the poor. Okay.
All right, so performance rating of the leaders and the parties. That appeared
on Sunday.
On Sunday, and that story I was quoted.
Producer, can you play the media report and then we come back to this story? Play that media report and then we come back to Professor Christopher Charles.
The latest RJR Gleaner Don Anderson poll shows that if a general election is called now, the opposition PNP would have the edge over the governing JLP. Of the 1,021 registered voters interviewed between January 29 and February 13, 2025, 35.4% said they would vote for the PNP. 30.7% for the JLP and 33.9% were undecided. It shows a slip for the PNP, which polled at 39.3% and the JLP at 30.2% in September 2024.
We have a very difficult task ahead of us, but if Jamaica doesn't get a change of government now, I don't know what kind of state we're going to be, because we have a corrupt government and a power-hungry government, and they're supported by the elite, and the media is bought out by them too. So it's not an easy road to trod the road that we are treading, comrades. It is not going to be easy to get them out, because, the news, the things that we put out don't get covered. Even today, there's a poll being run right now. The key metric in any poll is voter intention. Who do you intend to vote for? That's the key metric. Today, they published it on a Saturday, which is the lowest sales of any newspaper day, when it shows that the PNP is 5% ahead. We were at 9 at the end of September, so we have come off a bit. The Labour Party hasn't got any of that. They are where they were. It's undecided that have grown. In the meantime, they have had their conference, they have had the Spark program, they've had the Reserve Income Tax Credit, which is essentially a $20,000 grant to over 300,000 people. They've just been spending money to try and get themselves back to where they were.
According to Mr. Golding, things will pick up when the opposition starts sharing their ideas with the voters.
And we have been a bit cautious in putting out our ideas because we have found on multiple occasions that they tend to be appropriated by the Labour Party. And then they're so powerful in the media and their communications is so strong, it's very difficult for us to set the narrative to show that we were really the originators of that idea. And so we are trying to time our release so that we don't suffer from that. But in the meantime, we have held our own in the polls. And I think when we start to now reveal what we intend to do for the people, we will see the growth.
In the meantime, voters have also weighed in on the performance of the opposition leader and Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. 40% of voters gave Dr. Holness a negative rating, 27% thought he was average, and 33% gave him a positive rating. For Mr. Golding, 39% of voters gave him a negative rating, 38% thought he was average, and 23% gave him a positive rating. The RJR Gleaner Don Anderson poll has a margin of error of plus or minus 3%.
Dr. Christopher.
All right. You see that newscast there? How it stated, it will confuse people. So let us start with you have to make a distinction between the performance ratings and the party standings. Because I can say I rate your performance at 60%, but I'm still not there to vote for you.
Okay.
So normally you have to understand the context and how the voters think. And the average journalists and the commercial pollsters in Jamaica tend not to understand the science of voting behavior.
Yes.
Right. So we study voters all over the world. Not that we go and do polls all over the world, but our colleagues from around the world, when we meet them at international conferences, we see their data. And so we understand voting behavior. But I'm going to start with the performance ratings of the Prime Minister. Listen carefully. The Prime Minister, the government and the opposition, and then the Prime Minister, and then the opposition leader. That's the performance ratings now. Different from the party standing. In the clip you just showed, they discussed the party standings first, and they went to the performance rating as if they are the same. But the numbers are not the same. And I'll explain to you.
Standings. Let us look at the party standings.
No, just let me, because I want to do the development to show you. So I just wanted to indulge me a little bit. So I can quickly try to be a teacher like you and just Lego the thing now. All right, so let me just explain something to you. So, let me just talk to the people before I talk about the numbers. So, you see my hand with the 5 fingers, right? Or my mom would say 4 fingers on your thumb, but me I say 5 fingers. All right. So a Likert scale was used. You can't forget that term. But for the performance rating, there were 5 answer choices. Watch me now. Little finger, very bad, bad, average in the middle, good, and very good. So let's go again. Little finger, very bad, bad, average, good, and the thumb, very good. So you have 5 answer choices, right? And they must all sum up to 100%, right? What shocked me was how the pollster interpreted the number. And the journalist there, who doesn't know, you can forgive her, repeated the same nonsense, right? She doesn't know. All right, remember now, so you have very good and good, very bad and bad, and in the middle. What the pollster did was to use the good and very good as positive, and bad and very bad as negative. And the largest share in the answer category for both parties and both leaders was the average. When was average negative? If you say average performance or you're an average person, does that mean what? What does that mean?
Satisfactory.
Precisely. So there's no way under the sun where an average rating can be considered negative. It therefore means that the numbers, as they were interpreted, suppress the support that both parties and both leaders have, because their average rating was not summed with their positive ratings.
So you're saying then, if you were interpreting the poll, you would have added both the very good, the good, and the average to get.
Yeah, that's the international standard. So I spoke to a colleague who was saying, well, the pollster have check questions to make sure that the people are telling the truth. So that is why that was done. But that colleague is a very smart colleague. He must have been drinking that day. Let me explain something to you. When you're asking questions and you want to know if the people are telling the truth, right? I'm talking trade secrets now, right? But if you're a skilled, you still can't know. You ask, do you like X and Y? And 15 questions later, I ask a question which is about the same thing, right? But I kind of put it away where you're not gonna figure it out. And I ask you, and if it's different from what you tell me, 15 questions up, right? I know there's discrepancy in your answer. It's the same thing, right? But you have check questions for each answer choice, right? Right? And then now there's a formula to determine which answer to choose, right? So when the pollster is before with the 5 answer choices, everything is supposed to be set, and they should all add up to 100%. So that wasn't done, but the journalist, in reporting in the newspaper on Sunday, did get it right. So let us look at what the numbers are really saying. The performance of the JLP in government is 63%. when you add up the average, good, and very good ratings, right? The performance for the PNP government is 55% when its average, good, and very good ratings are combined. People know you must see the government is 63%. Of course, we expect it to be 63%. They are in government, implementing policies in the ministries, running the country. They're in parliament too, and they're in political representation. But the opposition is not in government. They're not implementing policies. They're not running the country. All they can do is legislative duties in parliament, political representation, and monitor the government. So just for that restricted role that they are giving Westminster, the PNP is 55%, right? So think about it. The PNP is 55% in an election year, right? Right? They're over 50%, 5 points above 50%. In an election year, they're not in, that's a good performance. And we expect the government to be somewhat there because they are the one pulling the strings, they are the one implementing. So the two parties were above 50% in terms of, when the government was above 50%, but higher, and the opposite was above 50%. These are two good ratings, but if you look at the fact that it's an election year and the opposition in Westminster have less tasks, roles, and functions to perform compared to the government, that's a stellar showing. Especially when you look at where the PNP is coming from, their poll numbers, and the performance ratings of the parties.
Person could have argued Mark Golding had the 10% that was taken off his favorite.
Don't mix it up. Don't mix it up yet. We're not there yet. Remember, that is party standing. I'm giving you performance rating. Remember, I tell you, I can rate your performance, but I'm not going to vote for you. And I cannot rate your performance, I'm going to vote for you. You have to unpack, right, the performance ratings from the party standings, and they're related, but just bear with me, right? So let us go with the performance of Wallace as PM and the performance of Golding as opposition leader. So when you combine the average, good, and very good for Wallace, he comes out at 60%. This is the Anderson January to February 2025 poll. When you add the average, good, and very good ratings for Mark Golding, he comes out at 61%. So Golding is just 1 percentage point right ahead. But remember now, this man in 2016 the PNP was so far behind. When he took over the party after Peter Phillips left, they were trailing, right? The party leader, Peter Phillips, was way behind. So to come back like this is a very good comeback. Because it's not just that they're tight, no. How far is the opposition leader? Very far. So now it was this interpretation that told me that the race was close. When I look at the performance of the government versus the opposition and the prime minister versus opposition leader, the numbers are close. And that told me that the election is very close. We can now go to the party stand, the one that you really want to talk about, because you will see that the party standings are close, right? I wouldn't be surprised. I was not surprised given what the numbers that I just explained to you are saying. So go put up the chart for me. Let me explain it.
Producer, you can put up the chart, please. You can proceed though, Prof. Charles. I'm sure the chart will come up in the meantime.
All right, so I have it here. Right. All right. So for January to February 2025.
That one.
No, no. The one that came out on Saturday. The
one
first one they showed me when I came on tonight. All right. So for January to February 2025 done on the poll, right? Which party would you vote for? Which party would you vote for if the election was called today? So the PNP is at 35.4 and the JLP is at 30.7. I'm always going to use the margin of error because when you use it, the idiots, whether in media or elsewhere, they have to keep quiet. And I dare any one of them from any teacher, come, right? Come and let us talk. When you subtract 30.7, what the JLP has, right, the who people vote for, from the 35.4, you get a difference of 4.7%. So that's the difference. When you take away the margin, when you use the margin of error, and I normally use the -3% when the race is close, and I determine that from the performance ratings. That is now corroborating this, it is supporting this. That 4.7%, when you take away 3%, it leaves what? 1.7, and we're rounding it up. That's what we do in mathematics. So the PNP is a clear 2 percentage points ahead outside the margin of error. So the PNP is clearly ahead because their 2% lead is not within the margin of error. It is outside the margin of error. So they are the clear leaders. If you look at how people are saying, oh, goal and lose some points, of course, look at where he was when he go to the party from Peter Phillips. It's one of the greatest political comeback, just the deficit that he had to make up. It's one of the greatest political comebacks. Right? So if you use critical thinking, thinking and reasoning, your understanding won't be different from mine. This is how we do it internationally. And I've always said, I don't use the University of the West Indies. I don't use the media. I don't use Jamaican people. No respect to the Jamaican people. And I don't use Jamaican media to judge my understanding or my academic work. The reason is, just like an engineer or a doctor, lawyer, the specialist work. Everybody feels that they can just jump up and talk. And they have been talking, but nonsense. That finding on Saturday shows that the People's National Party is ahead. Remember now, I was the one when I built my forecasting model. It predicted that the Jamaica Labour Party was going to win in 2020, and I said it. So I call the numbers as they ought to be called.
So what are you seeing happening now? If an elections were to be called?
I expect the People's National Party to win. Based on the numbers.
What are you looking at in terms of a majority?
All right. In Westminster, a small lead based in terms of popularity, right? The popular vote. A small lead based on how distributed across the constituencies can give you a massive victory. And a large lead sometimes based on how those votes, those popular votes are distributed across the constituency, can give you a small victory in terms of the number of seats, right? So I'm not going to make any assessment about seat counts, but based on what we know of how voters are, if the opposition catches you up coming from so far in the election year and passing, it tends to get worse for the incumbent, for the government. It happens all over the world. And it tends to get worse as you get closer to the election. But we are still saying that the race is close, but the PNP is ahead.
The race is close, but the People's National Party.
Clearly ahead. And why I'm saying this way?
The reaction Golding gave, talking about the media's bought out, the JLP communication is stronger, it's going to be hard to take them out of government. What is your take and interpretation of that? Is it a case of Mark Golding panicking, as some journalists would want to argue that Mark Golding is in panic mode?
No, it's a framing in the interest of his party. He's calling the shots as how he sees it and how he thinks how the media framing of the polls is impacting his party. Just like our JLP members. They also talk about the polls and they give their take. So it's the same thing. I mean, you expect political leaders to talk about the polls. Why wouldn't they? The polls are talking about them and their political party, the political party that they lead. But I don't think he's panicking. He's just reframing the narrative.
Because one journalist here saying that it's political incompetence, and where he is like
from where he's coming from.
There was
from where he's coming from, where the deficit that he inherited after Peter Phillips left, from where the deficit that he's coming from to know, and you're calling that incompetence, really?
Not me. I said that journalist.
But when I say you, it's not directly you, Andre. Right? What I mean is those who take that position.
So how do we proceed from what's happening now in Jamaica?
You asked a question about the media.
You were to attack PNP because according to PNP, they don't want to launch their ideas or their manifesto now because the JLP has a particular way of taking their idea and saying it is theirs. Right now, based on what you're seeing from...
But you have to launch your manifesto. You have to launch your manifesto.
So do you think that this is the prime time for the People's National Party to launch their manifesto?
Well, it depends on who they're talking with. All they should have done was just to have some robust policy ideas and they publish it from last year. So it's documented, it's in the document, it's distributed. So no one can then say, I came up with this because it's in the document. So how you counter that is to put your policy ideas out in a documented form, right? In a booklet.
So that the records can show that you are the conceptualizer of such an idea.
That should have been done from before, but there's still a risk that the government could implement similar policies, take pieces of it, right?
What is your take, though, that don't you believe that the government, if you were to speak to the PNP tonight, which I'm sure if you're granted the opportunity, you would. But
I don't understand.
I'm getting to the question. There are persons who are of the view, including Mark Golding, that is saying that the People's National Party media team is stronger. Don't you think that the messaging from the PNP needs to be stronger? The communication can be stronger? As a political behavioral psychologist, what would you say to that?
All right. What is happening is that I've taught a few people in the media. Some people say it's more than a few. And I remember one senior one, I was having a discussion some years ago, and I said we only have press conference journalists. And what I mean by that is once there's a press conference and something is stated, most of the journalists do, right? They just take what they are told and write a story. No one asks critical questions. No one asks searching questions. So they are press conference journalists. So once there's a misinterpretation, right? It spreads easily. So what the PNP has to do is to be on all the programs, right? They might not have mainstream, but they can encourage people who are skilled. I'm not the only skilled one. Some of the skills that I'm displaying tonight and kinds of interpretation, the people who taught me are still at the universities, a few of them. Some of them are retired and still living here and elsewhere, and they're available. I'm not the only one. Sometimes when I'm doing my work, I consult with my colleagues at the university. So there are a lot of people here who can talk about what the numbers mean. But what I found, a lot of people are afraid.
Why are they afraid?
They are afraid to offend this
Political
party or that party. You see, I am afraid to offend the truth.
Oh, you're afraid to offend the truth.
So when I come out, I just have to talk the truth. So the interpretation I've given tonight on the different findings, corruption, jobs on the poor, the performance rating, and the party standings. Send anyone to come and contest it. They can't.
I'm sure tomorrow morning they will be out with their senior JLP spokesperson rebutting.
Well, that is expected. I mean, they're a viable political party. They are legal in the Jamaican political environment. I mean, we expect them to compete and to counter. But I'm talking about scientifically refuting what I have said tonight.
Okay.
We can politically refute it, but not scientifically. You see, scientific thinking and statistical thinking and reasoning, it is robust. It cannot be affected by postmodern thinking where there is your truth, my truth, alternative facts. There's either something is either true or it is not.
The crime statistics in this country, Prof. I don't know if it's something that you have ever thought about or have had in-depth analysis about. But the governing party is saying that crime is down significantly.
All right. So let me just jump in here. I have a bad habit, forgive me.
Yes.
But when I jump in and it's because what you're saying is not you, but it's the same foolishness when them talk. You're just laying it out for your listeners. I understand that, but it's just a burning thing. I was on a program recently, and someone from the oversight committee, crime whatever committee they call it, said to me on the program that the JSF dismantled 185 gangs. Right? I said, where? Me born and grew in Kingston 1311. When we hang out of West Kingston, me there all over. Which gangs? Name the gangs. When they were members were arrested, when they were brought before the courts, all of these things. Give us the data. The man came on the national radio to make a claim that he could not give me evidence for. You know what happened? Because I normally don't like to go on programs with people, because I'm I don't know everything, right? And if you know what I don't know, I will stop and listen. But they have people who talk nonsense all the time. No 185 gangs were dismantled.
But they're in the media right now that there have been 43 murders for the month of February, the lowest Jamaica's.
Yeah, but remember now, I'm still on your first question. We'll come to the murders, but I have to stick on it. All right, so that nonsense about 185 gang is bullshit. Respectfully, bullshit. Because we know of 2 or 3 in the court. Where are the others? Where? Right? Anyway. My generation, we were the CXE, CSEC guinea pigs. So we bought the GCE and CSEC. So some subjects were C-sex, some were GCE. So in fourth form, it's the first time I was learning data analysis. So what the hell is this? Data analysis. And I was told decades ago that when you're looking at trends, at a minimum, you must use 5 years. As academics, we use 10 and 20 and 30 because it gives us a better overview and understanding. If you notice, when the crime numbers are given in Jamaica, it is 2024 homicide rate versus 2023.
Yes.
So the difference between 2024 and 2023 is 21.4%.
Mm-hmm. Prof. Charles, are you there? Something wrong with him.
Right? So to go back to my early 6. Yes. You're hearing me?
Yes, hearing you now.
Okay. Yeah. So what you need is 1 year, you need to have several years, right? And if you look at the numbers, you'll see crime going up, crime coming down, crime going up, crime. So you'll see a wave, right? Looks like a bell, which is a normal distribution.
Yeah.
And when the curve is like a wave, the statisticians will tell you that when you have the bell curve, right? So you will see homicide going up, homicide coming down, homicide going up. When you see that wave, that bell, and they call it the bell curve. Statisticians will tell you that the occurrences or the happenings or the homicide numbers, right? They are random. Anytime you look at the shape, right, and it forms that wave,
the bell curve.
Yeah, the occurrences or the happenings or the homicides in this case, they're happening randomly. So if your policies were impacting it, the curve wouldn't be like that, right? The next thing is we know that there are instances in Jamaica when the government gets tough on violence, right? And they deploy the security forces, and there's a reduction in the homicide rate or gun violence or violence in general.
Yes.
1967, there was a state of emergency, right? When I was a baby. 1976, when I was in high school.
Yes.
Right? 2017. Right? And also 1974 with the Suppression of Crime Act. When you come hard in terms of how you apply the JDF and the JCF, the numbers will go down. So this notion, so we can tell you when actually, right, 67, 74, 76, 2017, right? We know. So the other times we know they are just random occurrences. The other thing, when it comes to murder, listen to me carefully now. And because the last time I said it, I was misquoted.
Yes.
Listen carefully. My knowledge of crime, apart from my training and teaching at the #1 criminal justice school in the world for several years, John Jay College of Criminal Justice in New York. I've also learned a lot from my former students who are police and soldiers.
Yes.
And I asked them, when I used to teach them, I asked them, can you stop a murder? Can you stop citizen A from killing citizen B? And they all said no. Why? If citizen A wants to kill citizen B, the only way you are in police are no one trust is if citizen A talks to someone else and the plan and so on is known. But you can't stop citizen A from killing citizen B. He or she just goes and do it. And if they're good at it, they'll just kill the person. You can't stop homicide in that way. Right? But and we listen to police nonsense, and you listen The government nonsense.
You're saying that.
Hold on. 70% of Jamaica's homicide rate are carried out. Killings are done, are gang related, right? 70%. So if you dismantle the gangs, you should have a significant reduction in homicides. But the 185 dismantled gangs, we don't know where they are. A dopey gang them there, we can't find them. If we go to St. Thomas, go ask Kopi.
Yeah.
Arrested them because we can't find the 185 gangs that were dismantled. So homicide is really the problem. And again, misinterpretation. Why would you want to tell people this year is 10% lower than last year? That's unhelpful. When we have been having high homicide rate for the last 40, 45, 50 years. So why are you focusing on 1 year? Why? Because if you look at the trend over time, it will show the entire country that you haven't been doing anything.
Yes.
Ask the question. So when it comes to crime, we focus on killing criminals, right? But we do have a comprehensive crime policy that tackles the conditions, right? Or that will respond to the conditions that create the criminals. We should go after the criminals. So the police going after the criminals now. That's good. But that's all we have been doing since 1962. We need to.
Yes.
We need to respond to the conditions that create criminals, dysfunctional schools, dysfunctional families, violent communities, dysfunctional communities. These are the institutions that create criminals. We should, while we go after criminals when they commit crimes, we should be responding with proper interventions for dysfunctional families, dysfunctional communities, and dysfunctional schools. If we do that, within 5 years, we change the security situation in Jamaica, right? Significantly.
Okay. I think we have to come and dissect this situation with crime in a fulsome way, and we will do so another program, because I know you'd definitely have to leave now, and we appreciate you with your analysis for the polls. It was detailed, and we appreciate you for coming and spending the time for the past hour to analyze this. But thank you, Prof, for engaging us tonight, and we look forward to having further and fulsome discussions with you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, Prof. Blessings.
I'm going to bed now. Need to get some sleep.
I have a lot more work to do. But Jamaica, thank you all for joining the discussion tonight. You will see me back tomorrow at 1 o'clock. You'll see me back tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Until then, Jamaica, stay blessed. My name is Andre. This was PD TV News Jamaica. Good night. Good night. Good night.